everybody, welcome to my review of Season 20, Episode 3 of South Park. If you have not seen the episode yet, you might want to watch this later. And I also have the link to the episode in the description, so you can watch it. But be aware that it won't always be there for free. Okay? Alright. So, the episode starts out with footage from a TV show called Simply Heidi. Fraser Olengart, remember the athlete who was on the show last episode? Well, she's a guest on the show. The hostess, I guess her name is Heidi, says that Fraser was a victim of Skank Hunt 42's trolling. Olengart said she still tries to believe in the goodness of humanity, even though the trolling is disgusting. Some trollers with some suggestive usernames that are offensive to breast cancer survivors commented on the show's website. They said nice things, but Fraser was offended by their usernames. Gerald Botzcowski is watching the show, and he's excited to hear his username on the show. Next, the police show up at Gerald's door, asking him if he knew Cartman. Gerald says yes. The police said that Cartman quit Twitter, and they don't know whether it was a Twitter homicide or a Twitter suicide, because the events surrounding Twitter were suspicious. Gerald then asks Kyle if he's seen Cartman online. Kyle says no, he quit. The police ask Kyle if he knows why. Kyle said he probably got fed up with the negativity and decided to end it. I don't know. The officer said that people just don't quit social media. They write long messages on social media explaining why they're leaving social media. Gerald asked the police why don't they just ask Cartman why he quit Twitter. One of the police officers says, "At where, sir?" At where? Wow. Kyle then runs back into his room. He goes on video chat with Clyde and tells him that the cops were at his house. Butters, Craig, Token, and Jimmy are also on video chat with him together, talking about how they know the police are at Kyle's house for just what they did. And what they did is beat and break Cartman's computer and tablet and phone last week. Remember that from last week? Butters says that it's not the police they have to worry about. It's Eric Cartman, and he's gonna get them. Then, Stan is shown in his room, sadly looking at pictures of Wendy on his phone. Remember last week when all the girls broke up with their boyfriends? Yeah, so they're basically broken up. Randy comes into his room and tells him that he just can't stay in his room all day. Stan asks Randy what happened, and he also said that everyone is taking sides and splitting into groups, and everything sucks. Randy agrees. He says there are people thinking about voting for a douche like Stan's mother is doing. He said he doesn't know what's wrong with people in town. More and more people are agreeing with Sharon, voting for Garrison. And when he tries getting on message board, someone ends up swaying people's minds, and it ends up with someone talking about female genitals and photoshopping him in a vulgar way. After that, the presidential debate is shown with Mr. Garrison and Hillary Clinton. Mr. Garrison is the first one to get a question. The moderator asks him how he deal with the ground troops in Syria. He says to everyone that he doesn't know what he's doing. He had no idea that he'd get that far, and he shouldn't be president. And if they care about the future of the country, they should vote for Hillary. And she's not as bad as him, and is fully capable of running this country. Hillary says, "My opponent is a liar and cannot be trusted. What he is saying is not true. Do not believe it." Garrison says, "I'm giving you this, lady. I'm giving you this." He tells everyone to vote for Hillary because she really knows politics, and Hillary then interrupts and says her opponent is a liar, again, and that he cannot be trusted. Garrison tells her to get out of her own way. Hillary says that Garrison can't be trusted. Garrison tells the crowd that she doesn't mean what she's saying, and she doesn't know how to take this. He is interrupted by her again. PC Principal is shown in the office with Kyle, Stan, Butters, and Token. He says that he's had enough of them playing games. He says all of them were good friends with Eric Cartman, and none of them seem to know why he quit Twitter. He asks them if they have anything to say. The boys say nothing. Principal says that he has a theory. He says that maybe Cartman was forced to leave social media as a retaliation for Heidi Turner leaving social media. Now, because of the actions of a sexist, bigoted, racist troll, there's going to be more students like Eric Cartman wandering the hallways with no connection to the rest of the world. Cartman is shown sadly walking through the hallway at school, while everyone else is on their cell phones. Then, someone calls his name in a whispery-like voice. Eric! It was Heidi Turner. who was standing across the hall from Eric. Eric says, Heidi? Heidi Turner? Heidi says, come with me. Eric follows her. They end up going to a park in the neighborhood. Heidi says, join us here. I know how you feel, Eric. I know how hard it is when school gets out. No phone, no human contact. Eric says that he misses his stuff, phone, computer, etc., and starts crying a little. Heidi tells him to go into the park with her, and there are others like them there. At the park, there are people there without phones, walking around together, flying a kite, etc., and talking to each other. A man and a woman in a car stop near the park. The man says, look at them, Martha. Do you see them? Martha says, what are they? The man says, lost souls who have quit Twitter, darned to just wander the earth and hang out and stuff. Martha says, they seem so lonely. Then the two go back to using their phones. I don't know what this is a parody of, but I'm assuming that it is a parody of some kind of scary movie. I don't really watch scary movies, so just look on the South Park wiki and they'll probably explain it. Okay. And Randy is shown walking into Skeeter's wine bar. He asks everyone in the room what is wrong with them. He said that he saw a poll that showed more and more of them thinking about voting for Garrison. Steven, Butters' dad, that some of them are, and a lot of people just like what he has to say. Randy asks him if, after seeing that debate, does he still want to vote for that guy? Steven says, more than ever. Randy asks him if he saw the same debates that he saw. Steven tells Randy that there are people in this country who are sick and tired of hearing all the rhetoric, tired of Washington failing them while they pat their own backs, and finally you have someone who says what he feels, and that's why people like him. And to say what he wants, that at least he doesn't sound like another politician. Mr. Garrison is at one of his presidential rallies. Garrison tells everyone to listen to him, and he says that he has no idea how to be president. He is a complete jackass and he has made a complete mistake. Everyone starts cheering for him, and then Garrison asks them why are they clapping. He says he's not a good person for the White House, and he's not a good person, period. They show someone in the crowd clapping and saying, finally, someone who doesn't talk like a politician. Garrison says he is, quote, peeing his pants at the thought of being president. And they don't want a guy like him in the White House. And they don't even know the stuff that he's done. Next, Ike is shown in his room on the computer. Gerald comes in and talks to him. Gerald says that the school wants the parents to keep talking to their kids about trolling on the internet and how serious it is. And he guesses that the troller from the school message board is harassing a famous female athlete from Denmark. He said she kinda called him out and said he couldn't get her to quit social media, and you might say she's asking for it. He says now the troll is being copied by other trolls who are all dogpiling to see if they can get her to quit, and who knows what will happen that night. He then tells Ike goodnight and tells Ike to tell his mother that he warned him about the horrific consequences of trolling. Heidi and Eric are then shown sitting on a bench together at the park. Heidi says to Eric that she wants to tell him she's sorry for blaming him for being the troller on the school message boards. Eric says he isn't the only one. He said he guesses he didn't deserve a second chance, and he really tried to make changes to be a better person. Heidi asks him if, when he held the assembly about how women were just as funny as men, he wasn't being sarcastic. Eric says, women are funny, Heidi. Get over it. Heidi asks Eric if he misses his friends. Eric says he doesn't have any friends, and he doesn't know if he ever did. Heidi says to him, you do now, and smiles. Eric says, cute. Mr. Garrison attends another rally of his in Florida. When he gets to the podium, he says, I hate all of you so much. He says if they vote him in as president, he'll seriously throw up and lose all faith in humanity. Randy is watching the rally at home and says, I agree, to the television. Garrison says, I don't want to be here. He also says, please let me go. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm scared. And more things. Randy is shown and he says, I'm starting to like this guy. Skeeter's wine bar is shown again, with the news playing on the television. The news reporter on the news says that Danish gold medalist Frisa Ollengart has been the target of relentless attacks that started with the troll Skank Hunt 42. Last night, the trolling took a vicious turn when Frasier Oldengard succumbed to the pressure and committed suicide. She jumped 17 floors from the balcony of her apartment. She was 38. Uh-oh, Gerald's in trouble. After being scared from seeing that news clip, Gerald then runs into the bathroom and yells, oh my god, in the bathroom stall. Because, thanks to him, Frida Oldengard killed herself. Randy knocks on Steven's door to tell him he was wrong and that he's voting for Garrison. Randy says he sees what Steven means because Garrison talks like an ordinary person, and he has the same emotions that he does. He has his vote. Steven asks Randy if he's out of his mind. He says that Garrison will ruin this country. Randy says that Steven was voting for him the day before. Steven says not anymore, and that he changed his mind. Randy asks what happened. Steven says, I don't know. Randy says, what's wrong with people? You just don't flip back and forth like that. But Steven points out that Randy just did. Randy agrees. He then asks Steven why everything sucks. Steven says he's tired of thinking about it and invites Randy to have some memberberry pie.
Ooh, I remember.
Randy is about to take a bite out of the pie and he says, wait a minute. Then they show the house, the sky, and like the whole country, and they go come back down, and they're showing a memorial service in Denmark held for Frasier Oldengard. The speaker at the podium says they are under attack, and they must rise to defend their families. A troll has come into their village and taken from them a beloved princess. The troller hasn't realized that they have been planning their own attack. He's announcing that there and to the world, their plan to destroy the troll is underway, and in Denmark there is one thing they have known for centuries. To get the troll to come out of hiding, you must say its name. And that is what he said. Oh snap! Hope nobody gets killed. We go back to the park. Heidi is shown sitting on the bench in the park. Eric joins her. Eric says that he's thinking again how women are just as funny as men. And he realized that the only way to be sure is to see if African Americans think they're funny. Heidi asks, why is that? Eric says, because Black Lives Matter. Heidi asks if that's a joke. Eric says, yes it is. Heidi says she doesn't get it. Eric says, yes she does. He asks her if it gets a little easier living in this world. Heidi says the hardest part is not having followers. She used to go places just to show them where she was. Eric asks her if she wants to go somewhere, and he'll follow her. Heidi smiles. After that, Randy is shown going over to a farm, and he asks the farmers about memberberries. The farmer says that everyone wants memberberries these days, and then he goes over to show him where they are. The farmer says he doesn't know what made them so popular. He had to get rid of his pumpkins, his onions, and peppers just to make room for his memberberries. There is a huge vineyard of memberberries. Randy is astonished at how many there are. You can hear all the berries chattering, saying,
Remember the 90s? Remember the 80s?
and other stuff. Gerald is shown walking out of the grocery store on his cell phone. When he gets to the car, there is a note that is left on it. The note has his name on the outside. He opens it and it reads in red,
I know who you are.
Gerald gets scared and looks around. He then goes in his car and panics. He says, oh God, oh God, oh God. He clears the search history and deletes messages off of his cell phone. He takes the hammer out of his glove box and puts his phone on top of his car and hammers it. He quickly drives home and deletes all the pictures he photoshopped off of his computer. He takes his computer apart, drives to the pond, and has it catapulted into the pond. Gerald then goes home and sits on the couch next to his wife, Sheila. Sheila starts talking to him, and then Gerald says their computer broke and he had to throw them away. Not to mention he's still panicking over this whole I know who you are note mess. Sheila said that usually if someone thought their computer was broken, they would try to get it fixed. He said no, now you just throw it away. Then Sheila mentions how she had her recipes on that computer. And Gerald was like, oh, that's fine, we can just go on Ike's computer, and Ike's computer! he realized that Ike's computer was still plugged in. He runs up to Ike's room, pushes Ike out of the chair, the computer chair, and then he goes on his computer. He opens up his email program and sees that he got an email. He questions why he'd get an email if he deleted everything. The email says, "I know who you are." Gerald asks Ike if he knows who he is. Ike says,
No, but I want to, Dad.
Gerald gets an alert that says, "Meet me under the Fremont Bridge, 9 a.m. tomorrow." Gerald says, "Oh God." Cartman and Heidi are at M-Burgers eating fries and chicken nuggets. Then Heidi says, "Oh, you dip your fries into sweet and sour sauce?" And Eric was like, "Yeah, it's good. You should try it." Then Heidi tries it. She's like, "That's good." Heidi says she feels like life isn't gonna be so bad. Eric says that he thinks so too. Then Eric asks if girls don't have testicles. Heidi says no, they don't. And Eric says he doesn't understand what's underneath female private parts. Heidi says, "Do you want me to show you?" Oh my gosh. I was not expecting her to say that. Okay, Heidi, I didn't know you were like that. Girl, you better stop that. Oh, nasty girl, you're supposed to be a lady. Ladies don't do that, okay? Shame on you, Heidi, shame on you. And that's the end of the episode. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching the video. Thumbs up if you liked it. If you want to see my previous South Park review video, the link is in the description. Follow me on Twitter at ILUMoreThanThis. If you like my t-shirt, you like it? It's cute, huh? I have the link to where you can buy it in the description. It's on Amazon, by the way. Check out my South Park Archives Wikia profile. The link is in the description. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my other YouTube videos. And it's a wrap. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!